Hello. Hello. Hello and welcome to my very first Let's Play. Going to be doing Kerbal Space Program. There's very good reasons for this. First of all, I'm not a Minecraft lemming. There's already enough of those. I'm sure that if you look at related views, 9 out of 10 of them are going to be Minecraft-related Let's Plays. There's already enough of them. Let's move on. Kerbal Space Program is a sweet alpha. It's a new game by a Mexican development group, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, wow, them specs can make some worth playing video games. And to you I say, get the hell off my channel, racist. Yes, this game is awesome. If you don't have it yet, I suggest getting it. Like Minecraft, when it's in its early development days, they do have get in before the price goes up type deal. I don't know if it's the full price you're already paying for it, but either way, you can help support the developers. It's awesome. Support the developers. We start off... Oh, maybe I should backtrack a little bit here. Okay, we've got these buildings here. You can see a spaceplane hangar, vehicle assembly building, tracking station, and the launch pad. Now, clicking on the launch pad doesn't really do you any good unless you already know that you're about to launch a spaceship, but you don't ever really access it from here. You access it from the vehicle assembly building. The vehicle assembly building is just that. That's where you're going to construct your spaceship, and from within there, when you're ready to go, you're going to spend 90% of your time in here. When you're ready to go, and you'll see what I mean. At least in the beginning, you'll be spending a lot of time in here. When you're in here and you're ready to go, there'll be a button at the top right that just says launch. So that's why you never really use this here. Spaceplane hangar. I don't really see why they call it a spaceplane hangar. Basically, the idea behind it is that you can construct an orbital craft of sorts. Basically, you're going to be making a big jet that'll be more likely to be a fireworks display than an actual pilotable craft. Not due to game mechanics, necessarily them being broken or incomplete, but because you're going to spend a lot of your time crashing when you run out of fuel, etc., etc. The tracking station, I already actually have a flight in orbit. I'm right-clicking to drag around. This is Kerbal Earth, as I may accidentally slip, because, I mean, look at it, it's Earth-like. There's a reason for that, I'm sure. You can see Test 5 ship right here. This little guy is floating around on an orbit. I've actually managed to get a space station into space, and let me tell you, that is no easy task. Well, it's fairly easy to build a giant, massive, just screw-off rocket and just blast your way out of the atmosphere. But more likely than not, you'll find yourself hurtling back to Earth. You'll just kind of and just yeah, it's more of an amusement park ride than anything, and generally a fatal one. So you can see that they have these things here: apoapsis and periapsis. Now, I don't necessarily know what the difference is, and I'm not going to bore you, but basically those are your 2 points. You know, that's the farthest away point of the orbit, and here's the closest to the planet orbit. The game's pretty good about setting that. It does it by itself. You can see that the moon has its own little set of vectors and stuff like that. If it took me 3 hours, 4 hours of trying to figure this game out and blast just to the point where I can get an orbit, imagine how freaking hard it's going to be to get to the moon. And then from there to an even farther moon. And if I really, really wanted to, we have our sun, other planets, and each of them, shoot, I remember earlier versions of the alpha, it was just the planet and the moon, and I think, you know, an orbit around the sun. And they've since added these other planets because people were actually getting to them. You know, first they're like, yeah, try to get to the moon, and then people are like, yeah, no problem, there it is. Boom, done. Then they're like, alright, we'll try that. Yeah, no problem. It's just a little bit further, but we got this. You know, where's the challenge? Alright, fine, screw it. Why don't you go to their version of Mars or Mercury or whatever. I like how they color that one red too, to kind of reflect Mars. But I digest. I digress. So yeah, that's the satellite dish. What do they call it? Oh, no. Don't want to do that. Back. Tracking station. Yes, you click on the tracking station. If you have any ongoing flights, that's where you'll see them. I've already got a station up in the space. You'll have a... if you're like me, you had to go and clean this out. You'll have all of your lists of current flights there, and you can clean them up from here by hitting abort, and that should at least get them out of your way on this list. I just hit fly. Gonna take a look at this. Take a look at my space station of sorts. Yes, it's got fins because you need aerodynamics in space. That's not just a joke. They actually do a little bit of maneuvering in space. You can see the thruster pods here on the side. That's generally what you're going to be using. I think I even left somebody in here. Did I have anyone? Yes, no target. Yes. Pretty sure I left somebody in here so they could chill out, take some pictures, record my Let's Plays for me. There it is. Gonna click on the window. Yeah, Bill Kerman. Still stuck in there. You can hit EVA, extravehicular activity, make him hop out. I'll get to that, I promise. Because I'm hoping to add a friend to him. This does have a rocket pack on the back of it, or a rocket booster, or a rocket engine. It's empty. I used it more or less to get into space in the first place. I've got my solar sails, more or less fully extended. I put a bunch of docking collars on here. I had the foresight to do that. There's one here to dock a spacecraft 2, and then I've got these 4 suckers here because I'm hoping in this early series so far that I'm going to be able to dock another one to it. And I hope to be playing other games as well, because I get bored easily playing the same thing over and over. But because they are still adding more and more content to this, and you can already attach user-generated mods to this, I mean, the game content is just expanding daily, and there's always more to see. I'm going to go ahead, escape, and flight. Let's go back to the Space Center. So here's our Space Center. I could have gone straight to the Vehicle Assembly Building, Spaceplane Hangar, yada yada yada. Yeah, that's it for that. Vehicle Assembly Building. This is where the magic is. These guys didn't all used to be here. In the last update, they had them just kind of randomly running around. There was a dude with a hammer. He just walked around. Okay. There we go. There's a dude with a hammer who would just randomly walk around whacking on the floor. So he's got a little four-way wrench, like he's going to change the lug nuts on these space tires. Just waddling around. So yeah, that used to be just them running around. I just think it's funny, just the attention to detail. They are expanding more important aspects of the game, but at the same time, whenever they release a new version for you to play with, they also make it look a little better too. So you can see these guys are not quite agreeing on what it is they want you to do. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Yeah, I just have no idea. Like, I'm just going to wave it this way. I'm going to hold an X pattern. Who cares? Alright, next episode. Some tips and tricks. No, not really. I'm just going to slap together a space station. You guys get to watch it explode.